Have you ever stopped to think about how often we lie? Not with malicious intent, not to manipulate or hurt, but simply, to survive. To get through a difficult day. To avoid confrontation. To protect someone's feelings. To protect our own feelings. The truth is, lying isn't always about deception, it's often about preservation. Of comfort, of peace, of control, and sometimes, it's just about avoiding that one awkward moment we don't want to deal with. But what if I told you that there are certain lies, small, familiar, almost invisible, that most of us tell regularly? Lies that have become so normalized, we hardly recognize them as lies anymore. Today, we're going to unpack 14 of the most common lies people tell, to themselves, to others, or to the world, and dig into what these lies really mean. Why do we tell them? What do they say about our insecurities, our values, our fears? And most importantly, how do they quietly shape the way we move through life? Stick around, because some of these might feel a little uncomfortably familiar, and that's not a bad thing. It means you're growing. Let's start with a classic. A lie so common it's practically the standard response when someone asks, "How are you?" even if we're on the verge of falling apart. "I'm fine," is the social equivalent of a band-aid. It covers the wound, but doesn't heal it. Why do we say this? Because admitting we're not fine feels vulnerable. Maybe we don't want to burden someone with our problems. Maybe we don't think they really care. Or maybe we just can't face our own feelings in that moment. But every time we say, "I'm fine," when we're not, we deny ourselves the opportunity for connection, and we reinforce the idea that our pain should be hidden. Over time, this lie builds walls instead of bridges. Procrastination's favorite disguise. This lie gives us the illusion of control. We're not refusing to do the thing, we're just rescheduling it. Future us will handle it, right? Except, we often know that, later, never really comes. The truth is, this lie buys us temporary relief at the cost of future stress. It's rooted in our tendency to avoid discomfort, whether it's boredom, effort, or fear of failure. But what starts as a small delay often snowballs into anxiety and guilt. The key isn't just managing time, it's managing emotion. Facing the task now means freeing yourself later. In the age of read receipts, online statuses, and instant communication, this lie has become a modern reflex. Whether it's avoiding an awkward conversation, needing time to think, or just not having the energy to reply, we tell this lie to preserve our boundaries, without having to actually assert them. But here's the thing. Honesty and boundaries can coexist. It's okay to say, "I needed some space before I responded." That kind of truth might be uncomfortable, but it earns respect. The more we normalize communication delays, the less we'll need to pretend we didn't see it. This one's more of a cultural joke at this point, but it's a powerful example of how we often prioritize speed and convenience over awareness. Nobody reads those endless paragraphs. But every time we hit agree, we're lying to ourselves that it's harmless. The deeper message here is about how often we sign off on things, literal or metaphorical, without understanding them. We agree to jobs, relationships, and responsibilities without reading the emotional fine print. And later, we wonder why things went wrong. Sometimes, we need to pause and ask, what am I agreeing to, really? We've all said it, while still at home, searching for our keys. This lie is usually harmless, but it's rooted in a fear of disappointing others or being judged. We'd rather stretch the truth than admit we're late, disorganized, or just bad at time management. But repeated use of this lie damages trust. If your friends or colleagues hear it often enough, they stop believing you, and that chips away at your credibility. Sometimes, the more honest route, "I lost track of time, I'll be 20 minutes late," is not only more respectful, but refreshingly human. This is the kind of lie people tell to downplay their behavior. At a party, on a date, during a check-in with a friend. It's often told with a smile, but behind it lies a fear of judgment, a need to appear in control, or a desire to fit in without scrutiny. Social drinking has a weird way of blurring truth. We minimize to feel safe, to avoid being labeled or questioned. But when this lie becomes a pattern, it may be hiding something deeper. The discomfort we feel with our own habits, or a lack of honesty with ourselves. This lie is said with good intentions, it's a way to sound noble or non-materialistic. But in reality, money does matter. It influences where we live, how we eat, the freedom we have, and even our mental health. Saying money doesn't matter often masks deeper discomfort, maybe financial insecurity, shame around ambition, or fear of appearing greedy. A healthier truth might be, I don't want money to define me, but I understand its importance. That statement holds space for both humility and reality. A cousin to the last lie, this phrase often pops up during conflicts, at work, in relationships, or with family. But here's the hard truth. Sometimes, it is about the money. And that's okay. We say, it's not about the money, to avoid sounding petty, but often, money is just the symbol of something bigger: respect, fairness, recognition. When we lie about our real frustrations, we never get to resolve them. Owning the real issue might feel vulnerable, but it leads to better solutions. This lie sounds empowering, but most of the time, it's a shield. Humans are social creatures. We're wired to care about community, approval, and identity. Claiming we don't care at all often masks the truth that we care a lot, maybe too much. This phrase is usually said in moments of rejection or failure. It's a defense against shame. But rather than swinging to the extreme, it's healthier to admit, I care what people think, but I won't let it control me. That's where true confidence lives. This lie is often a socially acceptable way to say no. But it's also a way to avoid being honest about our priorities. I'm too busy often means, I'm choosing something else right now. That's not a bad thing. Everyone has different capacities. But when we overuse this lie, we avoid setting real boundaries, and we risk hurting the people we care about. Try this instead. I can't commit to that right now. It's honest, and it empowers you to own your time. A legendary breakup line, designed to let someone down gently. It sounds self-aware, but often it's a cop-out. We say it to avoid explaining the real reasons the relationship is ending: loss of interest, unmet needs, or incompatibility. Avoiding the truth might feel kinder in the moment, but it leaves the other person confused. The real kindness is clarity. It doesn't mean being cruel, it means being honest in a way that allows both people to heal. We all know this lie. We hear it in clipped tones, passive-aggressive silence, or forced smiles. It's the lie of emotional suppression. Why do we say it? Because expressing anger feels risky. We don't want to seem irrational or confrontational. But denying anger doesn't make it go away, it just hides it until it explodes. Real emotional maturity isn't pretending we're not mad, it's learning how to express anger in healthy, respectful ways. Sometimes this is true. Accidents happen. But often, this lie is a way to dodge responsibility. I didn't mean to. Shifts focus from the impact of our actions to our intentions, which might not matter to the person we hurt. Accountability means saying, I'm sorry I did that, not just, I didn't mean it. Intentions matter, but impact matters more. Growth starts when we stop defending ourselves and start understanding how we affect others. 14. Everything happens for a reason. This one's tricky. For some, it's a source of comfort, a spiritual truth. But for others, it feels